Cinematography Podcast.
What's up, filmmakers? I'm Alex and welcome back to the Filmmaking and Cinematography Podcast. Today we're talking about something that's changing the game for filmmakers today, smartphone filmmaking, and especially using an iPhone to shoot high quality video. We'll break down how the Blackmagic Camera App transforms your iPhone into a filmmaking powerhouse, why a smartphone gimbal is one of the best investments you can make, and why lighting and accessories matter more than upgrading your camera. And of course, the big question, can an iPhone actually replace a cinema camera? So let's get into it. So of course, a decade ago, the idea of shooting a serious film on iPhone was laughable. Now entire movies have been shot on iPhones. These cameras on smartphones have come a long way, with HDR, ProRes recording, high dynamic range and computational photography making them legit filmmaking tools. And just think about, with the latest Pro model iPhone like the 15s and 16 Pros, you can even put in an external SSD like in the Blackmagic cinema camera or other cinema cameras and record straight to it in ProRes RAW format. So this RAW format allows you to change a lot of settings like ISO, white balance and color profiles. But there's a thing, while smartphone cameras are powerful, they don't automatically make your footage cinematic. To get pro level results, you need the right apps, gear and techniques. One of the biggest limitations on filmmaking on the phone has been the lack of manual control. That's where the Blackmagic Camera App comes in. I love this app and it's not sponsored, but it's a really cool app. And of course right now also the Final Cut Pro app for iPhone has came up, which has mostly the same features. But Blackmagic, the company behind cinema cameras like the Pocket 6K, 6K Pro, Ursa and Ursa Mini and so, released an app that brings professional controls to the iPhone. You get full manual control over shutter speed, ISO and white balance. You can record in ProRes for high quality, and this is also available right now after iOS 18 I believe, or 17, I'm not sure, on the latest Pro models. You can get LUT previews so you can see your final look while filmmaking. You also get better compression options, meaning less noise and artifacts. Also, it's interesting that the Blackmagic Camera App mimics completely the Blackmagic OS found on the Blackmagic cinema cameras, which is very good if you're planning also to maybe purchase a cinema camera in the future, or if you're more advanced, then you can start playing around with these settings before trying out the actual camera. But this means your iPhone can now match the workflow of a cinema camera, making it way easier to integrate phone footage into professional projects. Alright, now the next big change is stabilization. A shaky footage can ruin any shoot. You can have the best cinematography, the best lighting or anything, but if the shaky footage is not part of the story and it's accidental, then it will look bad. While iPhones have great built-in OSI, so optical image stabilization, and sensor shift stabilization, is not enough for pro-level shooting. In the Blackmagic Camera App, you are also able to change this level of digital stabilization. But it's not the same result as getting a gimbal. So this is why a smartphone gimbal is an absolutely must-have. A gimbal like the DJI Osmo Mobile or the Zion Smooth allows for sleeky, smooth tracking shots, cinematic pans and tilts, and dynamic movement without handheld shake. If you want your smartphone footage to feel like a movie, stabilization is non-negotiable. And a mistake I see all the time is people upgrading their camera before investing in proper lighting and accessories. A cinema camera with bad lighting still looks bad. Also, fun fact, I believe that the main difference with a cinema camera compared to any other cameras is that while the other cameras like DSLR, mirrorless or beginner cameras usually adapt to your lighting, the sensor is such calibrated that it can adapt to various types of bad lighting condition and still spit out a really good and okay image. Cinema cameras on the other hand force you to pay attention to lighting. If you underexposed on a cinema camera, then it's most likely you have a lot of noise. Although you have control over ISO and other settings that enhance exposure, you're still not going to have the freedom to change it if your lighting looks bad. Meanwhile, an iPhone is great if lighting can look also amazing. Although the iPhone was designed with bad lighting conditions in mind, because not everybody has a film set at home. But if we add also even better lighting, then those shots will look absolutely amazing. So for example, instead of rushing to buy the latest iPhone, Instead, invest in small LED panels like the Aperture MC or Godox M1. Get a softbox for diffuse lighting, use ND filters for controlling exposure outdoors, get an external microphone like the Rode or DJI mic for better audio. These updates will instantly improve your footage, no matter what camera you use. And even later, investing in some even more proper lighting equipment like huge softboxes or other LED panels, point lights, spotlights and so can further enhance your production. Now the big question, can an iPhone really replace a cinema camera? Well, the answer is yes and no. An iPhone excels of course in portability, it's small, lightweight and fits in your pocket, it's easy to use, no need for heavier rigs or complex settings, it allows for fast turnarounds, you can shoot, edit and upload instantly. Yeah, that's nice. But it falls short in the sensor side. Cinema cameras have larger sensors for better low light performance and shallow depth of field. And just a really interesting difference with cinema cameras is that they allow you to have dual native ISO. This means that you can have the ISO even higher that it's imaginable on an iPhone or on any other DSLR or mirrorless cameras, because this sensor was calibrated also for an ISO, for example, of 3000, and you still get absolutely low noise. So low light shots are unimaginable in my case, for example, without my Blackmagic cinema camera. Of course, the iPhone also lacks lens choices. Even with attachable lens, you don't get the flexibility of interchangeable lens, and also you are not able to attach high quality expensive cinema lenses. It's also important to note that cinema lenses have a very wide aperture. It's not measured in f-stops but in t-stops, which are far wider. A t1.5 is absolutely amazing for that bokeh portrait look, but think about it that it's also hard to pull focus. A cinema camera also will always handle highlights and shadows far better than any camera you would check out, because it has a huge dynamic range. That's actually the idea why people would invest in cinema cameras. Alright, so the big question, can the iPhone really replace a cinema camera? Well, in my opinion, not at all. But in the right hands it can come pretty damn close. Although cinema cameras are designed for studio use, you need lighting, you need a bunch of accessories to use them, but they really show out. Instead, the iPhone is a very good start, and it's important for any beginner to take this iPhone and take the most out of it. And then if you're ready to go to the next level, then you can start investing in a better camera, in a better DSLR, in a professional mirrorless, and then slowly get up and change the camera gear slowly until you get to the max level, which I believe is the cinema camera. Then you need absolutely new knowledge. I can say from my own experience that the cinema camera is completely different than any camera I used before, but I believe that for anybody starting filmmaking, the iPhone or any other mobile device, okay, this is an episode about the iPhone because I'm an iPhone user, but I believe that any phone can be the best start. Just think about this random comparison. So check out the camera lens from the iPhone, the original iPhone. It looks so tiny compared to the huge lenses now available on the iPhone 16 Pro. So it's a truly game changer. And I believe that it's better to take out your phone and invest in gear, invest in something like better lighting, stabilization, try a strong tripod to handle it and be stable, and so on, further accessories, instead of putting all your money on a camera. Also nice to notice is that many people, I believe, make the mistake, me included, that they invest very much in the camera body and forget to invest in the lens. It's the same with the iPhone. At first you can also buy lens adapters for the iPhone so that you can connect proper lenses to it. Of course, these are specialized lenses for the focal length of the iPhone, because you're putting a lens on top of another lens. But beside that, it's a very good exercise, so you start working with proper lenses. But don't make the mistake to start out and buy expensive camera, an expensive lens, and then you don't have money or don't have enough for the lighting and other accessories. So as I said before, the iPhone is just an absolutely amazing deal, or any other phone, and with proper and with proper camera apps like the Blackmagic Camera App, the Filmic Pro or Final Cut Pro camera, it's a truly game changer when it comes to the true cinematography behind it. Alright, so that's for today's episode. If you enjoyed this, make sure to subscribe and also leave a comment below. And until next time, keep shooting, keep creating, and stay creative.